What was it like at the time when you were able to attend the Latin Grammys?
It was exciting and exhausting at the same time.
We're going to hear another song by Rosita Stone. We're going to hear Decida Ya Por Fin.
Don't you Hoy decide ya por fin, no puedo vivir así, quiero vivir sin dolor, nada importa ya, hoy te necesito más, no pensé enamorarme así, tienes que escoger una vida que perder, si yo o soy yo quien ganará tu amor.
Welcome to Cool Life Podcast, brought to you by therealthingdating.com. www.therealthingdating.com.
Polydor Records for out scouting. This girl grabbed my bangs and ran my head right to the speaker.
Oh,
And everyone cheered like this. Yeah.
When we shot the scene in Good Will Hunting, I didn't know who most of these people were at the time. I mean, they weren't stars. It was Gus Van Sant that directed it. Gus Van Sant was on the floor with Matt Damon's
Will Hunting.
character. I didn't even know who Matt Damon was at that time.
I'm Eva John. I'm a former candidate for local government. I was a children's television entertainer, and I love this world, and I believe we should take care of each other and have a lot of fun along the way. Welcome to Cool Life. Here we go. Welcome to Cool Life Podcast. I'm Eva John, and today we are continuing with part 2 of my conversation with Rosita Stone, singer, songwriter. She is a recording artist and producer and director of her own videos. Rosita, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, I'm so glad to have you back to continue our conversation about your work as a musician and the many different levels of your art that you work on. And Rosita, can you please tell us your website?
Yes, of course. It's rositastone.com, ROSITA, and then stone, STONE.com.
Thank you. And you have mentioned to me previously that in your childhood, your family traveled around extensively to different parts of the world that you've actually lived in for long periods of time. Do you feel that it has contributed to you as an artist to be able to live in different parts of the world and different cultures?
Yes, of course. I absorbed a lot of influences from, I saw a lot as a child. Maybe some other people would not see, depending on their upbringing. So yes, all of that has impacted me a lot. I love different styles, and I was exposed to a lot of different things. So it's all there.
Mhm.
Always has been. Yeah.
Do you feel that traveling around the world the way you did has helped you in any way to be prepared for touring and being on the road as a professional musician?
It did. Yeah, I guess it did. It did. It did help for sure, because if you're traveling, you're dealing with different time zones, and for a person that's never traveled before, that could be a big deal.
Now, as an artist, you embody the quintessential traits of that artist fully, not just as a musician with a background in dance and composing and performing. Do you feel that your work as an artist is your calling in life?
Yes, definitely. It's one of my callings. It's mostly, yes, it's my main calling. It's something that I am driven to do and something that it just won't leave me. So yes, it is.
And so fast forward to the very productive part of your career. What was it like at the time when you were able to attend the Latin Grammys?
It was exciting and exhausting at the same time. There's a lot of people, and it was, how could I say it? There's just a lot going on. I didn't sleep very much, so I was really tired, but there was a lot going on. I did a lot of different interviews and performed. It was very eye-opening on many levels. Some good and some not so good, so it's not all what people think it is.
I see. So did you find that it was, because I mean, we're aware that there are artists and musicians who kind of hold award shows in disdain, right? They don't like some of the marketing aspects of it and don't like how some of those connections are formed. But the other side of it is that it is a big ocean that musicians swim in. And when we get to focus in something that brings so many people together, it can be a huge networking opportunity that doesn't exist in any other forum. Did you find the value there as a networking opportunity?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. If I lived in other countries, it would be different. I'm here in Canada, so the networking that the people I met, and some really amazing people, very successful. It was really great to meet them. I lived in Colombia, thanks to but I can't move right now, so, but yeah, there's a lot of opportunities. But those opportunities would happen more if I was not living in Canada. So it is a bit of a barrier for me, but I'm here for a reason. The reason is my daughter. Yes.
And I know what that's like.
Just the facts. That's just the facts, I love Canada, although the opportunities here are not what they are in other places. I make what I can, and there's online, obviously, and I can, travel here and there.
No, I certainly understand that. And, it's amazing, of course, that you've made those opportunities, you've created them and done so much with your work and your career right here from Canada. And I commend you on that for sure. Right now, we're going to take a break to talk about our sponsors and supporters. First, I do want to remind you, please send your comments to info@coollifeworld.com. That's info@COOLIFEworld.com. Keep it clean, and we will read your comments on a future show. And so we'll take our break to talk about our sponsors and supporters. And before we do, we're going to hear another song by ROSITA STONE. We're going to hear Decida Ya Por Fin. Then we're going to be back with more conversation with ROSITA STONE on Cool Life Podcast.
No puedo vivir así.
Those lonely days of lockdowns and isolation are gone for good. Go to www.therealthingdating.com. That's www.therealthingdating.com. It's time to share. Share your time, share your life, share your love. www.therealthingdating.com. Join for free. Upgrade at any time, starting at just $5.99 a month. www.therealthingdating.com. Because it's time. You're listening to the Cool Life Podcast. We'll be back in 3, 2, 1. And we are back on Cool Life Podcast. I'm Eva John, continuing our conversation with Rosita Stone. Rosita, for your song, Luz Estelar, that music, it's really absolutely mesmerizing. And the video is superb, and it's really a transformative song. Can you tell me, how did the visual concept for that video come together?
It's amazing. We won an award for it, Academia Best Latin Video Award for that. But just right out of the gate, I won the award.
Wow.
Right after the Latin Grammys in that January. I won the award for that song.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. So really, I wrote the song, and the song is very deep, and the way where it was recorded, and my friend Jerry Mark, he was engineering the session. He's died since, and the person who mastered it has died since, Peter Moore. Like top, worldly and one of the best mastering engineers ever. So he just passed away a few months ago. So the song has got a lot of meaning. But for the video, I had an idea, and I conveyed that to Kevin Moore, DNA Cinema. I conveyed that idea to him, and then I showed him a bit of something that I thought would work. Something was spectacular. He said, "Oh, we can do something better than." I'm like, "Wow, are you wow?" So I found both locations. I was the location director. I was the makeup artist. I was, stylist. I was a dancer, the performer. I found the studios, the producer of the whole thing. I did everything. So it was just two people, just two of us for everything. And one of the locations on the cliff, and then the other location in a studio with a grand piano. Just beautiful. And we shot it. We just shot it without a script, without like writing anything out, or just in the moment. And as I sang it, and the playback thing on my phone, and there's no storyboarding. It was just like that. And most of the stuff I do, there's no storyboard. It's just ideas that pop up either in the moment, or I'll have an idea of a direction I want, and then it's just, I'm very in the moment with things.
Right.
I drive people crazy who have, scripts. Sometimes a lot of times I'll throw a script out and do it in the moment, because that's where the power is for me.
Right.
It's unscripted.
For the song itself, Luz Estelar, what was your inspiration for writing that beautiful song?
Witnessing somebody dying,
Mm.
almost dying, like almost leaving, almost at the point of departure, and seeing a profound, it's hard to describe it with words, but like a flash around them, And what I got, I'm trying to put this to words, like what I got from that was, it's almost like it was a crystallization of everything they've ever been and all the good things, everything they've ever been. It was like this flash of who they were, who they are, who they were in the moment, like who they'll always be. It's like it's what they'll always be is like culminating in that flash to go to wherever it is next. And I witnessed something, and I know I'm not crazy, and I know that it happened. I witnessed something, and it was extremely profound. And the person died shortly after that.
Mm.
And I wrote Luz Estela, which means starlight. Estamos vivos, carne y hueso, de anhelo como la flor que llega hacia el sol. So I'm saying, like, estamos vivos, carne, like we're still, like, as we were still, even though the person couldn't talk anymore, estamos vivos, we're still alive, blood, like blood and bone, carne y hueso. Yeah, like, and I was like, in that moment, there was still the connection in this world. And I was, singing about, oh, it's so hard to put into words. Tu sonrisa me cura, like, and in that moment, their smile, as they were just almost passing, it like cured me of so many things. Like, I'd have to do translation of the words, and I tried to encompass it in the words. So it is very, very profound for me to even listen to now, even sitting at the piano singing it.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
Now, as an artist, as a creative person, we hear that sometimes creative people, they wouldn't want to go to somewhere secluded to write or to record music. Do you require seclusion to be productive?
No, because if I did, I'd never get anything done. I have 6 pets. I have people coming out, my daughter. So I have things going on. So I've learned how to be productive without seclusion. It'd be nice in certain ways, but I've learned to be productive with stuff going on. The dogs are barking, there's lots of going on. So I used to need that more, but because of my lifestyle and the way, I am a pet rescuer and things like this, I do things like I have my studio set up right in the living room, like right in the midst of, it's not tucked away somewhere in the studio, like where I can close the door and just be alone, but I found that before when I'm too secluded, then it's good to get certain things done, but it's not necessary anymore because I have it in the open here, and I sort of got used to it. It's when it comes to recording something and being silent, I have to shut off the house fan, make sure that the curtains are closed so the dogs aren't looking at who's going by and putting my dog. It's crazy,
Right.
but that's life. It's funny, actually.
But that's the thing about your creativity, that it's nice that it's going to happen where it's going to happen, right there. And the environment, the pets are part of that environment, and you found a workaround. And good.
Absolutely. And if I had to do an audition for like a voiceover, I do that. I have to be completely, like, there can't be any crunching or any, I'll do it in the room, and I'll make sure I get, but I can't have any dogs and crunching or anything like that.
The perfect recording studio atmosphere for silence and not having echo, and you've heard it here, folks. For those of you inspired right now to follow in the footsteps of Rosita Stone, just remember, you got to mind the dogs and the crunching.
Yes. The cats, they're
Right.
jumping and crunching and meowing, and yeah. So I have to give a good feed before I'm going to do anything. Everybody's got to have a good feed,
Right.
so they're not like, looking for the next eating. Yeah.
Now, you've touched on maybe some of this a little bit, but in your downtime in between your work in music, do you have any hobbies or activities that are not related to music?
Well, yard work. Lots of yard work. There's always lots of yard work. And animals, my pets, and helping rehome animals, these hobbies that are about saving animals. are really, it's a big thing in my life. And I love the outdoors. I mean, I love hiking. I love to be camping. I love anywhere where I can be outside seeing the stars, things like that. I'm not a big person to go to malls and things like that and be indoors. I like to be outdoors. So hobbies are mostly about the animals.
That's nice.
Really.
That's a beautiful thing to focus on, and I commend
Yes,
you.
and I'm teaming up with Joshua House Cafe. It's a really, really nice spot with the outside. There's a park on the other side of the street. It's really upscale, and they asked me to perform. They do an event, so I'm teaming up with a friend Beverly and to we're just in the works of it's like another hobby, right? It's another works of doing an event to do with animals and doing something big. We're actually going to talk to the city of Oshawa to close the streets. We're going to try. We're going to try put on a big event to do with pets and things like that. We're just starting. I know I'm kind of letting it out of the bag here, but the hobbies are like doing things like that, like events that I'm not necessarily going to get paid for, but it's not about paying me. It's about although we all need money, it's about bringing awareness to the fact that these shelters are overrun right now. There's record numbers of animals being dropped off, and there's help that's needed. So I'm just spearheading that right now, and we're just in the first phases of figuring out what that's going to be and how to put it all together to make it a big something. And I'm also working on my hobbies are projects that like this, to help, and another project hobby, but it's a real something. I'm teaming up with an organization in Alberta called Little Warriors, and Little Warriors are an organization that help facilitate, and they have the facility to help kids who have been traumatized and who are victims of child sex abuse. And it's very serious issue, and they help, and they just got a really nice big grant for the next 3 years. They're being recognized more and more. So I've written like a theme song and a song. So we just did a memorandum of understanding, and with Rob Camprey, who is an Indigenous leader. He's one of my best friends. He's in Alberta, and another lady named Lesia Bear, who's a beautiful actress. She's and she's also a grant writer, and she's a makeup artist, and she's involved in many different levels. So the four of us, I got the idea, and then I spoke to Rob. He got them involved. He got that, you know what I mean? So we're pulling that together. I wrote the song. It's called Dream Child, and we're going to go for a video and recording and just put it together to raise awareness of that these kids are traumatized, and it affects them for life, and how to help them, and that we are their advocates here in the physical plane and in the spiritual plane. They have their cavalry that they can count on us, and it's a big thing. It's kind of snowballed into something now, and we're just the beginning phases now of putting that together. So that's another hobby. It's music related as well, music and video, but it's about helping and giving back and spreading awareness to the plight of these kids and in the world, and it's not just for Indigenous kids, it's Indigenous led, but it's not just, it's for everybody.
Right.
It's for everyone. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that too. So these are hobbies. Hobbies.
Really
So these are my
meaningful.
kind of hobbies,
Nice. It's really
because,
beautiful, meaningful things to put your energy
yes,
into.
because I see it like every night. You know what? I go to sleep, and I know I'm talking very personal here, but I go to sleep and I wake up every night, and every single night of my life, I wake up like, oh, there's not much time left. And maybe that's why I have been like, because I know that time is pressing on us, and it's time is of the essence. Every minute of my life, time is of the essence. And I know people say you're like really wound up, but if I wasn't, nothing would get done.
Right.
If I was like, oh yeah, people say, don't you just want to like move to an island and not do anything? Well, not yet. Not yet, because nothing's going to get done, and too much needs to get done. There's too much that needs to get done, and too many people and too many animals that need to get saved. Right. And there's so much of it that I don't sleep, because I know, like, how am I going to help? Like, and I'm not on Facebook as much anymore because I'm on so many of the animal groups, but every day I'm seeing the photos of what people do to them and what the state they're in and this and that. So I get really affected by that because I can't help everybody, and it goes around in my mind all the time, in my heart, about this is happening right now to an animal. This is happening right now to a child, so how do I live in this moment and have joy when I know that's happening at the same time? And I struggle with that every single day.
I
How
think
do
it's
I have
beautiful
joy?
that you're helping and that you
Yeah.
are using your time, your energy, and your talent to really support worthy causes. I mean, there's no two
Trying.
ways around it, right?
Yeah. And if I had like a big budget, I would use it to build an animal sanctuary or to do things like Little Warriors are doing for the kids. And, it's just so much is about finance, right? So
Quite often, it's true. Well, thank you for sharing that and the meaningful work that you are doing in your downtime, for sure. Right now, we're going to take a break and we're going to talk about our sponsors and supporters. We'll be back on Cool Life Podcast. Those lonely days of lockdowns and isolation are gone for good. Go to www.therealthingdating.com. That's www.therealthingdating.com. It's time to share. Share your time, share your life, share your love. www.therealthingdating.com. Join for free. Upgrade at any time, starting at just $5.99 a month. www.therealthingdating.com. Because it's time. This is Cool Life Podcast. Please remember to subscribe to Cool Life on your streaming service and on YouTube as Hellenique Today. That's HELENIQUE Today. Because that helps us to bring more cool stuff to your ears. You're listening to the Cool Life Podcast. We'll be right back. And we are back on Cool Life Podcast. I'm Eva John, continuing our conversation with Rosita Stone. Rosita, in the music industry, it's filled with difficulties and demands. We live in an electronic age. There's a 24-hour nonstop way of communicating all the time. You tell me, for you, what has been your most useful tool for the business side of the music that you do?
Zoom calls, online conferencing online, like video interviews, the platform for Zoom, or, there's other platforms, but being able to see people and interview like this is major. Yes.
It certainly has turned into something so much more than it was some few years ago. And
yes, you can do more. I mean, it's nice to be interviewed in a studio or something, but you have to travel, or if it's in another country, it's different. But this allows for international meetings, like with everybody, whatever industry or work you're in, you can contact anybody and see them and have a meeting, or,
and
so that, I think that's amazing.
Without jet lag and without traffic jams.
That's right.
No, that is a useful tool. And can you tell me, for your long-term goals and the work that is in progress, what is next for you?
Well, I have some songs I want to put out, and I'm still figuring out how that's going to be. So many things are changing on the landscape of platforms and Spotify. There's lots of different things happening and lots of different changes, and so it's not always the same, like how to put music out and what the best way to do it. And I have anyway, it's a whole thing. So I'm putting out the music, how, and if I'm going to collaborate with others to do it or not. That's a choice that I can make, and then there's pros and cons to everything, right? So yeah, so releasing music and doing more live shows, definitely.
Right.
And just staying with it, really.
There's a lot that has changed in the industry, and you know, it comes up
Yeah.
every now and then, AI technology. What are your thoughts on that
The changes in the industry.
with AI technology?
It's such a double-edged sword because, you know, the same day Gordon Lightfoot died last year, there was an article in the paper. I believe it was the same day or the day after, like within 24 hours, and it was the godfather of Google quits. The godfather of AI quits Google, essentially to warn the human race. I don't know if you saw that article. And inside of there was his regrets of doing what he did, because in the hands of the bad actors, he called them, it's you know, I don't want to say it like here, but it's like we're done. So you know, so there's that aspect of it that's sort of heavy. And once it starts becoming self-programmed, which it's already happening,
Yeah.
there's that, you know, and I think inside of us, it's like, okay, it's meant for, you know, to be a tool to create, you know, a tool for, you know, if you're doing certain things and it's going to help expedite. But, you know, but then I'm thinking, okay, it's a great tool for, say, writing a book. You can say, oh, I want to write a book about this. You know, what are the chapters? Outline some chapters, and then you can fill it out, and then, you know, and it's done in a few days. So now there are billions of books being produced that nobody's reading. There's you know, there's a lot of volume to get it out, and it's easier to write a book now. You can write a book in a day. You can write a book in, you know, you can have AI help you write, depending what program it is, write a book. And like, I don't know everything about it, but I know, you know, and that's great if you want to write a book, but now everyone's writing books, and multiple books. Not everyone, but like a lot, you know, you can write multiple books, but who's reading those books? Who's buying those books? It's so flooded that now there's so much that's lost. Same is happening with music. You can have AI programs just spit out whatever, do blah, 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 boom, and it's done. And you can take someone's voice, turn it around, put it out, and there's not laws yet in place to, you know, to protect people. They're not there yet. They're not, you know, there's so much to catch up with, and, you know, so that kind of thing. I think, you know, when you see like Chat GPT and people saying, oh, do this, do that, and it's like, oh, it's cool, and it's okay, there's the parts of it that are really cool, and okay, fine. But what I'm worried about is, where is it going? You know, is it going to eliminate, and it is eliminating, a lot of opportunities for people, for creatives. And there's the fear of that, and it's rightly so. You know, there's things you see, oh wow, this just can, you know, this is possible, now it's possible. And right now the schools, if they know anything's AI created or Chat GPT or whatever, even Google Translate, you get automatic 0. So they got to be really careful, right? You know, right? Because a lot of kids were getting 100%. Their grades are escalating because they're using it. Now they're now afraid of using it, because if it looks like it's, you know, written up, and, you know, I don't know how they can tell, but I'm sure there's a way. So I know it's a very broad thing. Is there's like real highs, and then there's real lows, like from devastation and destruction to, you know, this emancipation of getting all this work out. So it's like, I don't know. And I think right now we're like wondering where it's going to go. And hopefully, you know, like the Godfather said, it won't get in the hands of the bad actors, but it already has. So I know, like, let's not, you know, fool ourselves here. So it's really for the creative. You know, if it's about mastering a song, once the song is completed, created, that's one thing, it's mastering it. But if it's about creating the song and bumping out the work that it takes to do that, I don't know. That's really sad. I think that's sad. Like, if you can already produce a song that sounds like this, sounds like that, without anything. It's, you know, a lot of people are out of jobs, or, you know, photographers, right? There's a lot of apps now that you can take a photo and then it can be bumped up by AI in certain ways, and it eliminates the the need for photographers and videographers. And so that's the part of it that makes me sad. It makes me nervous because I don't know where it's going. You know what I mean? I know I'm saying a lot about it, but
No, absolutely. And those are really important concerns in the area of being creative. The base point is someone who has no writing talent writes books, but worse, so somebody who doesn't necessarily have talent in music can put a hodgepodge of musical sounds together and say, hey, there's my song. That is,
yes,
I hope not the future. AI doesn't create anything new. It regurgitates new versions of something that
right.
has to exist first. So that whole idea that something has to exist first means the musician, you, the creator, needs to exist before AI can do anything. And I think we
Right.
just, once those laws are in place so that
Well, they're not coming fast enough though.
yeah,
They're not coming fast enough. And I'm wondering why. Are they allowing it to happen? Like, why isn't it already there? It should be like expedited to be, something very important.
right.
So it does make me mad. Like, come on, what is taking so long, right? So, and we don't have time, like for other laws, years later to eventually be passed. It'll be over by then. You can't. It has to be. The laws have to be expedited now for the protection of so many people.
I believe they might be writing that legal language and going through how to define what some of these rules will be. I hope that there's somewhere a bunch of entertainment lawyers with stacks of books around them as they find a
Yes,
new
I'm
language.
sure there are.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are. But
crossed.
like say a song somebody does and they put their life into it, or they got that good at songwriting to write that song. A program could just spit out, like twist it up and spit out something a little bit different, but still wow, because that person did that and they put all their life into that or their whatever, and then now somebody can take it, change it a little bit, and do something. Oh my gosh, on the backs of the people who did the work. I mean, it's a cruel reality actually. And some people might think it's amazing, and it's amazing if it's not your work, right? So
I don't think
yeah.
it'll be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed.
I hope not. It's just such a new thing. So, and every day there are new programs for different things, and everyone's being told if you're not on board with it, you're going to be left behind. So that's causing anxiety for a lot of people as well who don't want to be involved.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know where it's going. No idea.
Well, I hope it'll be a world where the creative people who have always been able to start something beautiful like music from nothing are going to continue unhindered, and that AI will simply be a tool the way we use a photocopier.
Yes, hopefully.
Right? I hope. Well, Rosita, it's been such a pleasure having this conversation with you and to see all the different influences and the different experiences that you bring to the table as an artist, as a producer, composer, performer. And for those new to your work, can you tell us once again your website?
My website is www.rositasstone.com. ROSITA Stone. RositaStone.com.
Thank you. And for now, that's the end of part 2 of my conversation. Thank you, everyone, for staying to the end of this show. And until next time, I'm Eva John for Cool Life Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Estamos vivos, carne y hueso de anhelo, como una flor que llega hacia el sol. Tu sonrisa me cura y brillas como un rayo de luces de mar. Mi vida no llores, mi vida no llores, no te preocupes, porque el corazón nunca muere. esperanza, mi claridad. Tú brillas como un rayo de luz estelar. Mi vida la lloré, mi vida la lloré. No te preocupes, porque el corazón nunca muere. Mi vida la lloré, mi vida la lloré. Siempre cuando crea que nunca terminaré. Amaré hasta la próxima. Vida la lloré, mi vida la lloré. No te preocupes, porque el corazón nunca muere. Mi vida la lloré, mi vida la lloré. Siempre y cuando crea que nunca terminaremos. La 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 la
And that was our show. Thank you for listening to the very end. Please remember to subscribe through your streaming service to get more access to our guest interviews. Also, please subscribe on YouTube to help support our podcast. Until next time, I'm Eva John for Cool Life Podcast. Thank you for turning me on.